Hello YouTube. Today I'd like to talk about what a stock is. Stock is the way for a company to raise money in order for it to make money. They use other people's money to make money. And if you own a share of stock, you own a fraction of the company. So if someone asks you if you're a business owner and you do own stock, you could say, yes, I am a business owner. You have shares in that particular company. Companies sometimes also pay dividends, and that's payment through profits or some money that they've set aside to reward you for holding their stock. Now, not every company that offers dividends is a good company for you to buy. But starting out, you would want to own blue chip companies like Apple, Microsoft, things that you hear about. You could also use Walmart for an example. I suggest, and well, not really suggest because I'm not your advisor, but what I do is I buy companies that actually, that I use a lot. So I go to Walmart, I buy Walmart stock. I go to Target, I buy Target stock. I buy things that I know, things that I expect to stay around for a while. Costco is another one that's a good company to buy. So further on, as we go further along into these videos, you'll see what I'm doing, and if you like it, you do that. If not, you have some suggestions of things that you would like to talk about, feel free to leave those in the comments, and then I'll make an effort to go over those things. But before we even talk about stocks and go any further in it, you should basically be wanting to pay down any debt. Because in order to get your finances together, you really need to pay down what you owe. So that way you're not just getting a certain percentage in stocks, but yet you owe 12-20% interest to a creditor. So what I did, and you might think it's a good idea, to write down all of the creditors that you have. And next to that, you want to write down, each creditor, you want to write down the interest amount that you're paying. Next to that, you want to write down the total balance that you owe. The next to that, you want to write down the monthly payment that you have to make on that balance. And then you want to write the due date so that you always know when your monies have to be together in order to do something. So you won't go spending your money on something else when you have a bill upcoming. There are two ways to pay off debt. And well, there are really three. Consolidation is one, where you can consolidate all of your bills into one pile through a company. National Debt Relief is one example. I've never used a debt consolidation company because they pay themselves first generally. And there might be some that you know of that they don't pay themselves and they do it for you for free. And that, in that case, then that may not be a bad idea. But I don't know any personally that don't charge a fee before they will pay out to your creditor. So the second method after the consolidation is you could do the Avalanche method. The Avalanche debt method is basically where you pay off the high interest rates first. And the idea behind that is if you pay off smaller debt, then although the debt amount may be smaller, the interest that you're paying on it may also be small. And so therefore, by the time you finish paying off all of the debt, you still will have paid more than you could have if you just did the Avalanche method. And the Avalanche method is that you pay off the highest interest rate first, ensuring that even if the balance is small, you're paying off the highest interest rate. Even if the balance is high, you're paying off your debt that has the highest interest rate. Because in the end, you don't want to pay too much. If you pay off the smaller, let's say you have two loans. One is for $10,000 and the interest rate is 5%. And then you have another $10,000 loan and the interest rate, and the other loan is, let's say, $20,000, but it's 10%. You want to pay off that 10% balance interest rate first, because if you don't, you could wind up paying more money by the time you finish paying off the total $10,000 if you're paying it off on a monthly basis. If you do the Snowball, which is the third type of way to pay off your debt, is the Snowball method. And there you pay off the smallest amount first that you owe. So even if the interest rate is 5% on that $10,000 loan, you'll pay that money off first rather than paying off the $20,000 that had the interest rate at 11%. You could do that because it makes you feel good to have one done and not be paying both at the same time. So the Snowball method will give you a feeling of satisfaction that you paid something off. But what you should do after that, the next part of that method, is that the money that you saved from paying off that $10,000 loan sooner, that money you also add towards paying off the next loan. So if you were paying $500 a month on the 5% interest to pay off the $10,000. Once you finish paying that off, you add that $500 to the other amount that you were paying on the other loan for $20,000. So if you were paying $1,000 on that $20,000 loan, now you'll be paying $1,500. So just to recap, we have 3 ways of paying off debt: consolidating them and paying one total amount for all of them, paying off the highest interest rate first, which is the Avalanche method, and the third, the Snowball method, where you pay off the smaller loans first so you can make yourself feel good, and then you pay off, add that money that you were using to pay monthly on to the next. And so those are just 3 things that I wanted to bring to your attention so that you can begin. Doesn't matter how long ago you started the debt. Doesn't matter if it was yesterday or 5 years ago. The goal is to just get it done. So just start somewhere. Start with writing your list, and when you make the list, then you'll have a visual of what you need to do. And hopefully by the time I make the next video, you'll be able to have that accomplished, and we'll move on then. Have a great day.